I definitely want to make sure that you understand that if you're being manipulated, what you need to do is figure out what you need to do. If you know that you're being manipulated, champion, get out of that. Because if that person is golden, because that's how they portray themselves to be many times. So we're going to talk about that. And I want all the champion knowledge and things that I have gone through that has helped me and has also helped others. And I want to make sure that we are all supporting each other. And about who and why. Honestly, we're going to break this down. And specific, very specific, I'm going to be as detailed as possible on how to spot someone that has manipulated you. So we're going to get right to it. When I speak about in terms of manipulation, I first want you to understand is I'm not talking about just relationships. I'm talking about family, friends, and or relationships, champion. I'm not telling you that this conversation is just going to be about because you were manipulated by your significant other or your ex or whoever. I want to give you some signs on what to look for and to know what are those signs to know if you have been manipulated. So first thing first is a person that manipulates you will automatically throw that guilt, blame, and shame on you. Yes, champion. Guilt, blame, and shame. What does that look like? All of this comes from when you say no. So anything that I say to you, you more than likely have said no. You have set some type of boundary and you're enforcing a boundary, and the person that manipulated you don't want to hear it because they want to get what they want. Let me be clear with you. What they want has nothing to do with you, champion. What they want has nothing to do with you. So whatever they're trying to get from you, you say no to them, that's it. You also don't have to give them any explanation. If you want to, that's fine, but you don't owe anyone a reason of why you're saying no to them. And what a person does when they want to manipulate you, they will do the guilt, then the blame, then the shame. So you say no, they don't like it. So what they'll do is that they'll throw a tantrum and say, well, I've done this for you, I've done all this for you, and you can't do this for me this one time. They use things like that, like, I've done this for you, I've done this from you, I've done that for you, and you can't do this for me, to make you feel guilty for not doing something for them. Does that make sense to you? Raise your hand if you have been involved with someone to where you said no to them and they have guilt tripped you to make you feel like it was your fault. Raise your hand. I know I have. When you say no to them, they become like little kids of, oh, I did this for you, I did this for you, and you can't do this for me. And just throw all these different tactics at you just so you can say yes. Stand your ground. Stand up to yourself, stand up for yourself, and stand up to that person that is manipulating you. In a relationship and family, whoever it is that you've been manipulated by, you need to be able to stand your ground and enforce the boundary, champion. Yes, enforce the boundary. The guilt trip, that usually is first. So the guilt, the blame, and the shame. Or sometimes they'll do a little different. They'll do guilt, shame, and blame. Either way, you're going to feel guilty. They really find a way to make you feel guilty in a way to where when you say no to them, it's your fault. And you need to feel horrible for not giving them what they want. The second one, of course, is they're relentless. Like, people that manipulate you will try to hurry up and get a response from you. And if you delay, they may say something like, well, I asked you to go walk my dog and I didn't get a response from you. So are you going to be able to do it? And they want an answer right away. I mean, obviously, if you need to go and walk someone's dog or you need to take them somewhere and you promise them to do it, then obviously you would do it. But a person that is manipulating you will usually try to be very pushy, like relentless, like no respect at all for your boundaries, like unknowing, become a pest. Like, are you going to do this for me? Can you do this? What time are you going to do it? And if you say, well, I will let you know in about 2 hours. Well, what are you doing in those 2 hours? Well, they start to investigate and they start to try to get in your business and trying to narrow down to get a response from you right away, just so they can catch you up in something to where you feel once again guilty for not doing something that they want you to do or need. Keep in mind that this has nothing to do with you, champion. This is just how a person manipulate you. A third one is that they lie. They will lie. Even when you catch them up in a lie, they still lie. A person that manipulates you will really try to change the situation as if it is the truth, and they can make this evidence that is presented to you that you know is a lie to still appear to be real. And they somehow never really own up to the lie. They just keep lying and make you feel guilty for calling them out because they are lying. And because you caught them, or because you recognized that what they said wasn't true and you realized it and you caught on to them, and they will still lie even when it's plain as day, champion, that they are lying. For an example, a person will, you may be in a relationship with someone and you may see that the person has text someone inappropriately. And if they text someone inappropriately, you see it in their phone, you ask them about it, and then you realize that this person is lying. Because what they're doing is basically what they're going to do is the guilt, the blame, and the shame. They're going to make it seem like, well, you should not have done X, Y, and Z, otherwise this would not have happened. Be careful with that, champion. They do things like that. Or the person, here's another example of another scenario. You've caught them doing something else and they completely lie about it, even though you're completely aware of that. Obviously, if you've been in a relationship with someone that has done something and you guys have reconciled, hopefully that person has owned up to it and, tried to reconcile and make the situation better for you and that person that's also involved in that, so they can keep their relationship happy, or to still keep the person in their life. I'm not talking about those people that have really done some messed up stuff. I'm talking about the ones that are lying completely and never own up to it, take no responsibility for it because it is all your fault. Those are the people that I'm talking about. These are the people that will manipulate you. People that lie, even though the evidence presents itself that they are lying, they twist it to make it seem like you're crazy and you should not be calling them a liar, even though they are a liar. So that's one thing you want to make sure that you look out for. I'm giving you these tips, but I want you to first understand, first and foremost, if you are being manipulated, you need to figure out what is going on with you that's causing you to still be abused by this person. Are you still with this person that is manipulating you? Well, we need to figure out what's really happening to you deep down that you are now tolerating this type of abuse, and that has now become self-abuse. I want to make sure that I make myself clear with that. I do that type of coaching, so if you definitely want to have this conversation further and we delve down deep into it, and we can definitely have that conversation. Just because sometimes, even though you know that you are being manipulated, or you're in a situation or a relationship, or you're talking to someone and you know that you are being manipulated, you still deal with it. You don't have to tolerate that type of behavior nor that type of person. So I want to at least make sure that you understand that I can give you this information, but you first need to understand, are you tolerating this type of behavior? So I want to make sure that I'm clear with that. And the last one is like super important. The last one is that a person that manipulates you will play the victim. They will play the victim. Why? It's because they don't want to be wrong, and they want to always change the situation to make themselves feel right, even though they are completely wrong, in the wrong, have done it. It's obvious. They don't want to be the victim, because what they're going to do is, their tactic is that they will make you appear to be the bad guy, and they're going to make themselves appear to be the good guy. So you want to make sure that you are watching out for those type of people, and that goes back again with the guilt, blame, and shame, the lying, and you calling them out. They running over and crossing over your boundaries. They will hit that. They will always say, like, I've done this. They will always point out the things that they've done for you, so you can yield to them, just so they can feel empowered, and make themselves feel like they actually won. So, and yeah, a person that manipulates you will definitely do that. They will play the victim. They will lie. They will guilt trip you. They will blame you for their wrongs. They will shame you for saying no. They will also be pushy and relentless to you. I definitely want to make sure that you understand that if you're being manipulated, what you need to do is figure out what you need to do. If you know that you're being manipulated, champion, get out of that. Because if the person is continuously manipulating you, they're doing it because that's who they are. But it has nothing to do with you, but especially of what they're trying to get from what they want. So you want to make sure that you pay attention to that. So what do? Get out of that relationship. You do not have to tolerate these people. And I want to be clear, it doesn't necessarily have to be a relationship. It can be family members as well. So you want to watch out for these type of things, because when I express things, I'm expressing it in a broader spectrum. Sometimes I'm talking about relationships. Sometimes I'm talking about family dynamics and things like that, because family will also manipulate you. You want to watch out for that as well. And it's okay to still set your boundaries with family. This is AdyaShere. I am so happy that I got a chance to talk to you today. If you have not already, make sure you hit the subscribe button. I will definitely be seeing you soon. Take care.